What's good, guys? Fancy Joe back here with my Week 10 wide receiver rankings, half point PPR as always. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. Let's hop right into it. So at number one, I've got Cooper Kupp against the San Francisco 49ers. No surprise there. Two, Devonta Adams against Seattle. I think with Aaron Rodgers back, he is due for a monster week this week against Seattle, especially with Russell Wilson expected to play. Could be a shootout. Three, Tyreek Hill against Las Vegas. I think he's going to have a good week. Four, Mike Evans against Washington. He is a smash play. I would play him in every format you can, basically. Especially, there's a rumor that Chris Godwin, our number 5 player, might not play this week. Washington's secondary is horrendous. Antonio Brown might not play as well, so you could potentially be in a situation where it's Mike Evans as the top dog. 6, Stephon Diggs against the Jets. I think he'll have a good week, especially considering that Buffalo likes to air the ball out a lot. I know the Jets haven't given up a ton of points to fantasy wide receivers, but I think that's basically because people haven't had any incentive to throw the ball against them in the second half. I think Buffalo throws the ball regardless. 7, Devos Samuel against the Los Angeles Rams. Debo didn't have a great week last week, but he's still, that guy, and he's getting a good target share, so I still think he's a top 10 play this week. 8, Deante Johnson against Detroit. Mr. Consistency himself. Deante Johnson gets so many targets every week, and he pulls them in. He's dangerous after the catch, so you're playing him. 9, A.J. Brown against New Orleans is a nice matchup for A.J. I think he'll have a good week. 10, DK Metcalf against Green Bay. With Russ back, Green Bay I know has been pretty good against fantasy wide receivers this year, but honestly their secondary is banged up. I think DK could have a big week against them. 11, Marquise Brown against Miami. Miami's secondary is currently MIA, so you can play Marquise Brown for sure on Thursday night. Lock him into your lineups. 12, Keenan Allen against Minnesota. I think Keenan Allen, he gets that target share. And Mike Williams has been banged up a little bit the last couple of weeks with the knee. I think Keenan Allen is a great play this week. 13, Terry McLaurin against Tampa Bay. Had a little bit of off time to heal up. Now it gets Tampa, great matchup. You're playing Terry. 14, CeeDee Lamb, disappointing last week, but I am definitely playing him this week against Atlanta. All wide receivers are a little bit inconsistent. He wasn't horrendous, so I'm playing him against Atlanta for sure. 15, we got DJ Moore against Arizona. I think the change of quarterback is going to be good for DJ Moore. He's been getting a ton of targets still, and he's a talented wide receiver, so I think he can get it done in a game where he's probably going to be trailing. 16, Justin Jefferson against the Chargers. I just think they're going to want to run the ball. I'd have Justin Jefferson a lot higher, just matchup based, honestly. Michael Pittman Jr. against Jacksonville. Who knows how much they're going to be throwing the ball in the second half, although Jacksonville just beat Buffalo, so who knows. But I think Michael Pittman is still a good play regardless. Carries great touchdown upside each and every single week with him. 18, Tyler Lockett. I think this is the biggest benefactor of getting Russ back for Seattle. They have that mind meld connection, him and Russ, and they're just going to get it going. Like I said, against this Green Bay team, I think they'll hook up for at least one long bomb. 19, Mike Williams against Minnesota. As I said with Keenan Allen, it's a good matchup. Just Mike Williams was a little banged up with that knee. Although if he could caught that one pass in the goal line and punched it in, he'd have a much different looking week. At 20, Amari Cooper against Atlanta. Same thing with CD. I think they'll be fine moving forward. 21, Adam Thielen against the Chargers. Mr. Touchdown upside himself has a great chance of catching a touchdown every single week. So even though it's not a great matchup, he could sneak one in there very easily if they get in the red zone. Kirk Cousins loves to look for him down there. 22, Robert Woods against San Francisco. Robert Woods has been very solid recently. This is a pretty solid matchup for them. I feel like Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, you can basically play in any matchup with how good Matthew Stafford has been so far this year. Obviously, last week against Tennessee, Stafford didn't look great, but still. 23, Jaylen Waddle against Baltimore. Waddle's been doing really well recently, getting a ton of targets every week. It's an explosive player, so you're playing him. DeAndre Hopkins against Carolina. Just worried about the hamstring a little bit. And, the situation with Kyler as well. We don't know if Kyler will play or not. 25, Hunter Renfro against Kansas City. Probably the biggest benefactor of the Henry Ruggs situation. Especially in PPR leagues, I'd love to play Hunter Renfro in this matchup. I think you have a really good week. Jarvis Landry against New England. Honestly, pretty similar players. Landry, just is going to soak up even more targets with Odell out of town, and Baker trusts him. 27, Jerry Judy against Philly. Jerry Judy's been looking like himself last week. I think this is the week he can get back on track potentially. Have a nice week. 28, Marvin Jones Jr. I know it hasn't been great recently, but it's a great matchup, so I'm throwing Marvin Jones in there. 29, Colt Beasley. He's been heavily targeted. He's got the Jets this week. He could get those slot receptions, and who knows, he could punch one in the end zone this week. And 30, Brandon Niuk. He's looked much better recently. He's still a talented player, and it looks like Kyle Shanahan and him have figured out their differences. And so once that happens, he's basically, I think you can basically play him most weeks moving forward. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, any fantasy football chat you want, put it down in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.